Making the choice to do ceramics my first year in college was the first time in my life I ever made the choice to do anything fun academically. After my first week in a college level class, I wasn't sure what I had gotten myself into, but I did learn to love it. The parts of my memory of ceramics that stands out the most is that I remember the wobbling sound of the wheel, the squish of clay beneath my fingers, and popping air bubbles and learning to use my hands as tools for the first time. It's messy and beautiful, and sometimes it can be elaborate or have an individualistic charm. There was a lot of pressure. It was like one mistake and all your hard work was gone. It was a nightmare of my 19-year-old self to imagine something of mine just blowing up in the kiln. I would stay late and lock up just to make sure that all of my work was up to par, and they weren't all pretty, but none of them blew up in the kiln. My favorite project was working with the raku glaze, and it can come in a variety of different colors, and you have to use fire in order to activate the different colors. I remember going there early that day, and participation was optional because it was the last day of the semester. It was easily anywhere in between 32 to 48 degrees, and we were all freezing and happy to see the fires lit so that we could get started. I had saved my best pieces that I created over the term for this project, and I was the most excited to use something called the crackle glaze. While I was learning to allow myself to create, I accidentally awakened a part of myself that had a longing for freedom much faster than I had originally planned, and it, unbeknownst to me, would make me never want to have a 9 to 5 cubicle job ever again. I had a total of 1 week of summer vacation before I re-enrolled into school, particularly massage school, and it has landed me where I am right now. I owe it everything. The irony is that I started this not anticipating it to be anything lucrative, and it ended up being the one thing that worked out for me. And now I went from being a kid who didn't know how they were going to feed themselves in a couple of years to someone who works for themselves. Looking at some of these now, they are like artifacts. They have pieces missing, some of them are cracked. It's like going through a time capsule for me. When I see their little quirks, I remember how I felt when I was working on each detail. And it really allows me something that I wasn't anticipating, which was a connection with an older version of myself. This experience taught me that your art is always a part of you. No matter what changes, they will always be there.